So welcome everybody to this episode of the Total Insights podcast, where we're going to take some time with Totalmobile's Product Innovation Director, Gareth Tollerton, to talk particularly about a new feature which is just being released. Specifically, it's an AI-focused feature, what is being referred to as our AI Snapshot capability. Gareth, listen, thanks for spending some time about this, because I do think this is a particularly interesting feature and a real world example about how AI technology can actually make a real difference in the delivery of field services. So to get us started, could you just talk us through what exactly the AI snapshot feature is and how it will be used by customers out there in the market?
Yeah, certainly. So in essence, what the snapshot is a way of making it easy for a user to get access to all the things they need to know about the particular job they're trying to do. So what it does, it looks at various relevant data, and I'm being general at the minute, I'll be more specific and give you examples about that particular thing, and then summarises it in a really concise way and presents it to the user. And mostly what this does is save the user time and allows them to be more accurate in their work, because it does the equivalent of rifling through lots of screens to find out various pieces of information for the user. It just gets it back to them. So it saves them that time, or where that would be inconvenient for them, they wouldn't have time. It does it where they wouldn't have maybe managed to do it, and therefore they're more informed and better able to do their job. So we've been focused particularly on it in two areas, in housing repairs and in care at home scenarios. So they're quite different scenarios, but the concept is very much the same, at making sure that the person who's using one of our applications gets a really concise summary there of information.
So I suppose, whenever you look at the real world example here, whenever you are a mobile worker, a field worker, and you're out there delivering services, quite often, historically, these guys would have had access to quite a lot of information, multiple different reports, previous assessments, job information. And while that has previously been seen as being a good thing because it's a source of knowledge for the field worker, occasionally that can be quite overwhelming. So I suppose the whole idea about this snapshot is here, it surfaces the most important information so they know exactly what they need to know before going to do the job at hand.
Yeah, well, that's it. Specifically, yes, on that mobile scenario, our product's been very good at delivering that information to workers, but that means where that's been used enthusiastically by customers, the worker can get a lot of information, and there are particular pieces that are relevant. So what the snapshot does is lift to the top a very concise summary of what's really relevant to them, and that can avoid the human nature. People maybe don't read through reams of information, look at these various documents, because it tells them what's actually there and therefore what they need to pay attention to. We've also used it in a back office scenario. And what we found there was, we had a really good example from one of our housing customers. And the first time they used it, it surfaced, they had a claim for payment from a contractor, which was being disputed. And they decided, well, we'll try this new button and see what it does for us. And it gave them a summary of a litany of errors that had been made in the course of this series of jobs. And that allowed them to build a really strong case instantly and go back to the contractor and refute the claim for payment, because they hadn't done the work they were supposed to do. So that saved them real money immediately and a lot of time, because it would have been a lot of effort to go into a lot of historical correspondence and completed jobs and customer complaints, and it put all of this information into one place instantaneously. So that was a really, really good one. Another one is generally dealing with complaints. Customers say this just allows them to get through that really quickly, because we're putting together information really relevant to that. So what we're really doing is a time saver for the people who are working in the back office, as well as saving time for that mobile worker when they're arriving, and making sure that they're armed with the right information because they have seen it, because we've made it easy for them to get it. And that's the key thing. It's making it easy for the person to see what they need to see in that particular context. It's a very contextual feature.
And you alluded to it there. We've talked already about how this is about saving time, enhancing efficiency, and also empowering people with knowledge right at hand. You alluded to this was actually a feature that we ran a few pilots with a number of customers last year. It'd be great to hear about what their feedback was and how did they view this new feature after using it within their field service delivery.
Yeah. So the evolution of this was just over a year ago. We were doing some internal proof of concepts and exploring ways that we could use AI to help our customers. We'd produced some prototypes and demos of this, which we showed to customers, and we got some good feedback. So then we went through a process of recruiting 2 customers, but one of them operates in both care at home and housing repairs. So we effectively had 2 housing repairs services and 2 care at home services. And we worked with them, brought the product to near production capability where it could be deployed in the live environment, and worked with them through a controlled pilot with a subset of their users and let them use the feature. And then we iterated quite reactively with the customers to tweak it and make sure that it was telling people what they wanted them to tell, and making sure that we made the AI responses as consistent as we could, etc. So there's a bit of fine tuning went on there. But the feedback was really, for something that appears on the surface to be quite simple, it's a summary of information that theoretically you already have.
Yes.
It was a really good feedback. Users really enjoyed it because it really helped them get what they wanted. It helped them give a better service to customers, and they found it a real time saver.
Yes.
And we've even had good feedbacks from regulators in one case who happened to be inspecting one of our customers and saw it in action, and they had really positive feedback on the innovation. So it really is an illustration of how doing something like this that's new and just a different way of looking at what is in theory the same problem can make a disproportionate difference to the user's actual experience and how we help them do their work. So, so that being received really well, we actually let the pilot run on for a few customers while we accelerated the feature into production. And we're now, that's in UAT acceptance testing at the minute, and it'll be going into live production within the next couple of weeks. It's on that pipeline at the moment.
So there's a good chance whenever somebody's actually listening to this video, it's ready to go. And as you mentioned, we very much look at this at the minute. We're focused on 2 verticals for those people who are working in the housing space and the care at home space. But this is a feature absolutely that can deliver almost immediate benefit from them.
It's immediate, and to give you an idea of the detail on it, and we have already some customers who approached us who have seen it and want it, which is great, because it's actually created a bit of excitement out there. So that's really gratifying. And what we roughly do is in housing, we look for warnings, complaints, where there have been repetitive visits or repetition of the same work. And it's just warnings with things that might be something amiss with this particular type of work. In care, it's hazard, even just simple entry information, particularly a first-time visit information. Information from letting people know what documents actually exist, what they should read and look for. So it's not all the information, but it's letting them know that surface information they need to do so they can do a better job and do it more quickly. And it's mostly think of it stopping people from having to look around in the system for the information in different screens. They're just getting this one access point that tells them what they need to know about that one particular incident that they're dealing with.
Yeah. So listen, the utilization of AI within field service and field service management is something that's been talked about for quite a while now. But I think what this really is a manifestation of something which is a real priority initiative within Totalmobile, which is having genuine, actionable, value delivering AI capabilities in the field first platform and beyond. I know that's something that you're very, very heavily delivered in. So can you just talk me a little bit about, kind of what is the processes and what's going on at the minute in the AI space, and maybe without going into some specifics, but maybe kind of giving signposting towards some things people can expect to see over the course of this year?
Yeah, certainly, because we're working on something quite exciting at the moment. So the snapshot has been really well received, but it does one particular thing in particular locations in some of our applications. What we're now looking at doing is we're working on something a bit more pervasive throughout Field First, so linked to the platform itself and therefore available throughout the platform, taking advantage of that unified data set that we have underneath all of those applications and capable of doing many more things. So much more, it'll have many more ways of assisting users in doing their work. So we're looking at that at the moment. We're working on it. We will probably release some more information about this in the coming months. But we're really looking at the success of what we've done and say there's an awful lot more. And this is not just maybe about surfacing information to people, but also actioning things within the applications themselves as well on behalf of users, but with the right controls and security and identity and permissions and things, so people can only access or change things that they are allowed to do. But what we really see is something that is a capability within Field First that will be available to users throughout that Field First platform.
Yeah, whenever it comes to AI, that really is one of the huge benefits of that platform approach, is that you have that unified data model from which you can take actionable insights and actions on.
Exactly. So what we're looking at is something then that's available pretty much everywhere and has access to all of that, and then can help users do many more things within the platform where we can build upon this success, but extend that in many more directions. We're also working on making that something that makes it easier for our product teams to innovate and bring new features to market quickly to customers, so that we can actually move really, really quickly on these features and work with customers and respond to their requirements.
Yeah, great. Listen, it is very exciting. This AI snapshot feature, really something that's quite simple, but very, very powerful. But I think what's even more exciting is really starting to see some of the work that we've been doing about AI, getting it in the hands of customer and delivering them genuine value and how they deliver their field services. So yeah, we'll look forward to hearing about what's next in the upcoming weeks and months.
Super. Well, I look forward to it. I'll keep you posted.
Okay. Gareth, listen, thanks very much. Until next time, thank you again, and we'll speak soon. All right?
Speak soon. Bye.